Hello, hi everybody. Oh my gosh, do we have stuff to talk about? The tide is turning. We've reached a tipping point in amazing amount of cases. I don't know how much you've heard. You may have heard pieces, parts, or all, but let's talk. Let's talk. We've got to talk about the Gus Lamont case. What in the hell is going on there with Grandpa? For real. Okay? Getting after the reporter? Just wait for that. Michael Vaughan, we have news. Finally, after all this time, we have actual news in the Michael Vaughan case. Also, interesting little tidbit in the Jack and Lilly Sullivan case. Might not be so little. When you really add up the details of what we're about to talk about, I think it could be the turning point. All right. And then in little Melodee Buzzard's case, Mama done been moved away from the home and they've got search warrants. Not only that, but there's more to come. So we have a lot to talk about. We are live. Welcome to 1111 True Crime. Mama D coming at ya. How's everybody doing? Yes, I gave a gifted membership and Starlight got it. Thank you, lovely. Thank you for becoming a Starlight voice. And that's the Starlights are all these missing voices, right? And so we become the voice. Hi, Jennyville. Love you, love you, love you. How's everybody doing? Jennifer Swain is here. I've missed you. I can't wait till you get home. I know you're taking care of family. I totally respect it. But we miss you. We miss you. Hey, Nikki UK. All right. Hi, Debbie Gazzardo, Jennyville, my lovelies, Allison, Robin W. Welcome, welcome. All right, you guys. Hi, Marlene. Welcome back. And Sherilyn. The list goes on, right? Where do we start? Well, that's not hard. Get comfortable. Let's wet our whistle because, whoa, what? Y'all. Wait till you see what Grandpa has done to the reporter. Okay, hold on. Check this out. Let's get over here and take a gander. Take a gander at this. Did she say, shut your face and get out? Okay, let's break this down. So the reporter goes over to where Gus's dad once was living or fixing up the property. I found out, let's back up for a minute. In the Gus Lamont case, let's talk about who this little boy is. 4 years old, September 27th. He's allegedly playing out on a little dirt mound at the sheep ranch that they've had in their family for generations, and it's huge. Mom and the other grandparent are out and tending to the sheep 10 miles away, allegedly. Dad is 2 hours, lives 2 hours away. We never get an alibi for any of these people, really. I'm not saying any of them are suspicious, but what the hell is going on? Okay. Then I was going through pictures and I found a picture of a cement mixer, and then I was looking at the porch and I could see that little piece of cement that looked fresh. Well, it is fresher than the rest. It's light compared to the rust-colored others, right? Turns out that's at Daddy's house that's being remodeled. And I'm not saying Josh did anything. I'm just questioning because I don't understand it. He left the property the minute that he was told by police that his son was missing. Family didn't even tell him. And so he left the property and he's not been heard of since. Like he made Nothing. Like, he disappeared, y'all. Nobody knows where he is. Even family and friends are worried. They're like, he's not in a good mental state. This isn't boding well for those on the outside that cover missing children's cases. And I'm sorry if he's not in a good mental state, but for a parent to disappear like Malaya in the Jack and Lilly case, right after a child goes missing, just like Katie in the Sebastian Rogers case, when a parent goes missing, just unaccounted for, silence, it's always alarming because you would expect them to advocate for their child in a frantic fever to find the child. That didn't happen. Now, the reporter goes to that house where Josh is remodeling it. Allegedly, Gus is just about ready to move in. Keep in mind, I had a commenter point out the truth, that this is a huge amount of land with lots of property and structures, and it could be very valuable, and it's handed down through generations. Now, Gus's dad and mom, even though they're together in a family sense, are living separately because the grandpa has went through a change and now is grandpa ma. Okay? And Josh's dad is like, this isn't working for me. So he stays over here. Mom stays with her family, and the grandpa ma, that's it, grandpa ma. It gets confusing. So now grandpa ma is coming outside of their house. Now here's what happened. Allegedly, the reporter went to see if she could help and interview him or whatever. Knocked on the door, didn't get an answer, had already exited the property and was leaving when Grandpa Ma comes out, Gus's Grandpa Ma comes out of the house brandishing a pew-pew and a dog and is flipping out like holy catastrophe, yelling, shut your face and get off my property, get out, get out. I'm like, I already thought you were suspicious. Now I will tell you, I pull cards over on Crime Story Mama, and yesterday, the whole thing on Gus's read was that when they went to drain the pond, and I didn't know if it had anything to do with the pond, I just said there would be a clarity that shows them of this aggressive nature. Assault came up on the card. Well, in a sense, this is a threatening, aggressive behavior, but there was no assault yet. But it does ring true that this is this big moment of reveal to the authorities where they're going to pivot and look at this. So this is a tipping point to see how aggressive. This reporter, he knows, and I'm going to say he, okay? Because let's just face it. You wait till you're 70 to all of a sudden have a gender crisis. Your grandkid's missing. You're now suspicious. I don't care. I'm not here to sugarcoat crap. Exactly, Allison. Like in the Lilly and Jack Sullivan case, which we're going to be talking about very shortly, we had Earl, Grandpa Earl, come out and confront Tent on the road, right? And Earl was like, "What are you doing here? You the one that took those kids?" "Yeah, you YouTubers." And we thought that was aggressive. This is Grandpa Ma, who has a pew-pew, and we all know that he knows she's not armed. Are we talking a little off balance? Like, not so upright? Makes me kind of go, what you hiding? What you hiding? Right? Your kid's missing, your grandbaby's missing, and you don't only want to not advocate for your grandkid, you have already told everybody, we don't need no help. We're working it out over here. Go away, go away. Now you're yelling, go away at the press that could be advocating and spread. No, you don't want any help because of why? What's your reason? right? Hey, Brooke, good to see you. Oh, you're hoping Trick or Treat doesn't get canceled? I hope not. What's that? AGP? I don't know what that means. A little unhinged, right, Jennyville? That's the word for it. Totally unhinged. Let's go back. Let's watch this one more time.
We'll have the police on you because you've been warned not to come here. Get out! Get out!
I don't care what kind of lipstick you put on that. We're still looking at a creepy old man, in my opinion. Okay, so what is that about? What? So when people were like coming into my comments last night, and they were like, "Oh, did you hear? Like he went off on a reporter, like actually had a pew pew," and I was like, "No way, no, really? Can somebody get me the link?" I didn't need to go find. I mean, the link was there. I'm like, what is that about? I don't know, y'all. But I guess they've drained the dam and we haven't heard anything. I have been qualified that in the United States we call them water retention ponds, which they call a dam because they're damming up water. I totally get it. And it's a feed and water livestock. I totally get it. And they have walked it, but now they've drained it and we have not heard. I mean, Allison, you nailed it. You're right on the money. Why so defensive of help? Major red flag. Right, what is he hiding, Nikki? Jennifer's getting ready to hand out candy. Now, you guys, Trick or Treat just started here. And I set my candy out there for them. But it might trigger my dogs. So I didn't realize how close I timed everything. Hey, Dee Dee Morris, hi all. It's really weird that nothing in regard to DNA was found anywhere near the crime scene. These days, DNA is everywhere. In the future, this will raise huge questions. Okay, I didn't think they did any forensic study at all on this case. Not that I'm aware of. They're still treating this completely, I believe, as a missing person. I don't think DNA has been checked. I could be wrong. So let's go ahead and say a little prayer for Gus. He needs us, right? He needs us. Now on to Michael Vaughan. You guys, I can't wait to get over on Crime Story Mama. I have something to show you over there that's going to blow your mind. I just do. But for over here, this is what is going on in the news, and it is breaking, and it is that in the Michael Vaughan case, Stacy Wandra, that's the male, Sarah is the wife, Stacy Wandra has been arrested and charged with the homicide of little Michael Vaughan. Sarah will be too, if not already, and then there is possibly more arrests going to take place. We know of 2 other individuals that they've had their eye on. So let's go ahead, get into this update together.
Right now. A warrant has been issued for Stacy Wandra connected to the death and disappearance of little Michael Vaughan. He was 5 years old when he went missing in July of 2021 from outside of his Fruitland home. And now a Payette County lieutenant confirms Wandra has been charged with first-degree murder, second-degree kidnapping, and destruction of evidence.
Back in 2022, police announced that Wandra, his ex-wife Sarah, and 2 other individuals were suspects or persons of interest in Michael's disappearance. Authorities searched the Wandra's home and their yard in Fruitland at that time. Sarah was charged with failure to report a death. That charge was later dropped, though. Stacy Wandra, who you just saw, is serving time out of state right now for a different crime. And the lieutenant we've talked to tells us he has not been extradited back to Idaho yet. Sarah currently serving time in an Idaho prison on unrelated charges.
Now, we did talk to Michael's mom, Brandy Neal. She sent us a statement this morning saying their family is filled with mixed emotions. She said, quote, "All we have wanted is for Michael to come home, knowing that charges are coming forth to these monsters. We pray that they will finally tell us where Michael is. Michael deserves to be home with his family. There's one thing that just keeps ringing in my head right now," she says, and it's something that J.D. Huff said. He said that you cannot take one of our most precious citizens and ever expect us to stop. Now, Fruitland Police Department continues to live up to that statement. This is just the beginning to a very hard road for this family, they say.
Something to keep in mind is that Brandy just received a liver transplant. She's doing well, but send some prayers her way to Brandy. Brandy Neal is Michael's mother, and she has advocated for him from day one. She exhibits a lot of anger and frustration, as well as appreciation towards the police department. And that is what a normal, innocent parent is going to do. They're not going to be always happy with the RCMP. They're not going to always be pleased with the job that's being done. And you often see that in those that we suspect are completely innocent. And Brandy is one of those that I truly do feel. My foot is itching. Hold on, when you get one of those itches in your life, right on the heel too, so it's weird to, okay. But you feel what I'm saying. So, will we find out? So now, if they've arrested and charged Stacy, is he the one that actually took the life, or did his wife do it? Were they driving in the car and hit little Michael, panicked, put him in the trunk, and then transferred him into the backyard, or just whatever? I don't know. Would that have been picked up on somebody's ring cam probably? Most likely. Did Michael go and knock on the door? He was wandering around the neighborhood, knocking on doors, not once, but quite a few times in the past, asking random neighbors, adults even, "Do you want to play with me?" That's concerning. And is that what happened? Did he knock on Stacy and Sarah Wanderer's door? And they took opportunity, and that was that. But the big question is, now the ball's rolling. We have a charge, we have an arrest, and as time gets closer, we've been seeing more and more people just out of the blue say, "Yep, I did it, I'm guilty." Kohlberger, I told you people would tell on themselves. I said 2025 will be known for the year. I said this back in 2024, all over the place, go look. I said 2025 will be the year that people tell on themselves. Literally. Brian Kohlberger went in court and told everybody he was guilty. Jay Caro, just out of the blue, "I did it. This is what I did." Now, he didn't tell us where the baby was. But this is happening. Stephen Stern pled guilty. No trial. So the big question is, will Stacy Wanderer finally plead guilty and tell us where little Michael can be found? Little monkey Vaughan. That's our hope. So say a prayer for Brandy. Heavenly Father, we ask you to wrap all of our love, along with yours, unconditionally around Brandy Neal and heal her body to carry her through. This is a strong woman. We lovingly give her our care, and we pray for absolutely the best outcome possible for her and for little monkey Vaughan. So this statement is about not giving up, and that is what has had to happen. Now, that doesn't mean that we cover Michael Vaughan every day. We're only going to cover the cases when there's the information to deliver, because who's going to... It wouldn't even be right to just do a random video. My dogs are playing, y'all. It's better than barking, though. They got a new toy, and there was 2 of them, but they don't care about one. They both want the same one all the time. But what I'm saying is, we can't always just cover a case all the time and there not be any information of value being shared, because then that's just done for clicks and views. And that's not right. There is some spreading awareness, but that can be done once a week. I tend to cover a case when there's information. But that being said, there's information available as well in the Lilly and Jack Sullivan case. All right, you guys, nothing to show you on the screen here with that. Just something to tell you. I know, my squeaky chair. Let me wet my whistle real quick. On the Lilly and Jack Sullivan case, who are the 4 and 6-year-old little children, siblings, brother and sister, that are missing from Nova Scotia, Canada, reported missing on May 2nd. I suspect personally, I think you all know, that the children went missing after they were on camera on the 1st. That's how I feel. Now, we have new information. I do want to say that Janie was not involved. The step-grandma that was on the property, so 3 people on the property, step-grandma, step-daddy, and mama, and the baby, 4, baby Meadow, but 3 people that are adults. Step-grandma Janie wasn't in the car. Daniel flipped he's had another car accident, right? He's flipped it end over end. He's okay, but Janie's car is totaled. Wheels all cockeyed in the back. It looks like the main frame broke. Like axles don't look like they're working no more. So I'm glad he's alive. But that being said, there's this information he released to the DT show that he was interrogated or questioned, interviewed, whatever you want to call it, by the RCMP for a couple of hours just recently, and that it was recorded. See, I don't think Daniel is really as smart as he thinks he is, because you've got the RCMP re-questioning Daniel. You have the dog searchers really putting their thumb on Daniel and asking and getting accusatory towards, did he do something with the kids? And we all got to remember that Daniel stated that he believes CPS turned his older children against him because now they're saying that he did bad things to them. I think the RCMP, the dog handlers, CPS, they know these children are not alive and they're building a case. That's what I really feel. I think that hearing that Daniel got re-interviewed for 2 hours and it was questioning that blanket, I think that's a tipping point in this case with the CPS talking to the kids and the kids saying, yeah, Daniel did bad things to Lilly and Jack. You got the RCMP talking to Daniel pretty serious, but we don't hear anybody else. We usually get some inkling of who all is getting questioned. I don't know how anybody knows anything, but like, you know, whatever. Daniel's getting questioned. They're going to compare his statements. How's that going to go for you? Can we get the goat? Because here's why. If the statements are too exact, that shows a false story because memory always changes slightly. However, facts don't change. The time doesn't change. The people that you see doesn't change. The facts. So they're going to take all that stuff, and Daniel likes to gab it up, and he thinks they're friends, right? Unfortunately, so did Brendan Dassey. He thought that, you know, those investigators were his friends. We're here for your own good. It would be in your best interest. We're here to help you. Yeah, they tell you all kinds of things. So just keep talking, Daniel. But I think, also the girlfriend coming out and showing us the kind of fantasies that you've put on paper or put in text. All this shows a very creepy personality, in my opinion. And I do feel that there's a tipping point when it comes to Daniel. And I think that it's going to be a few. I think there's a turning of the table too. So what do I mean by that? There's those that may be standing up for Daniel. Maybe trying their very best to stand up for Daniel. Just like some people tried to stand up for Dawn Wells. And they went down with Dawn Wells. Like they lost a lot of respect and credibility because they became biased, because they were so hungry for that next word from Dawn Wells or that next call. And it's kind of like, that the stew is getting stirred with a shit pot. The stir stick is a shit stick because it's biased information. And I think that's going to come back to bite some people in the ass for doing that. However, on the same respect, we definitely want them to have a platform, right? We want them talking. We want that creator to continue what they're doing, but we have to hope that they know what they're doing and that they're not sugarcoating information, leaving out information just to protect that person. And so there's a lot of trust going on there, and in the long run it usually doesn't work out well, because I do think it's going to come to a point to where Daniel has to answer a lot more questions. I think that part is just starting. Maybe the RCMP, I'm giving them a little bit of credit here because they brought Daniel back in, and I'm hoping they're watching. And, the smart thing would be is if the RCMP have been investigating all along. This is a criminal investigation, and saying they haven't, but keeping that buried and quiet and working out the real details. Do I really believe that? I'll believe it when I see it. So with Daniel making the statements that he's made, it kind of leads me to believe that they're going to be like, holy crap, this guy is just off the hook. He can't keep his story straight, right? Especially if they gave him that much rope. 2 hours. Oh, I'm sure they are fighting over the baby, Cheryl Ann Love. I feel a sense of great hope, too. Think about it. We have Gus Lamont. We're seeing the side of the grandma, right? The grandpa that shows aggression toward innocence. That reporter didn't have any weapon. Michael Vaughan case, Stacey Wanderer now charged and arrested, and you and I both know that Sarah the wife isn't long behind. Jack and Lilly case, things are starting to look more serious. We're at that 6-month mark where it should be looked at as a criminal case, in my opinion. And then let's talk about this little 9-year-old girl named Melodee Buzzard. Her mother goes on a trip, right? Ashley Buzzard. Dad has passed away when Ashley was only a little bitty wee baby. So mom, according to family members on the father's side, are saying, she ain't well. We haven't even been able to see this child because of Ashley, the mother. The child is hardly even seen. There's no photographs. And we get this update of her on this trip, and that this child is missing because the school is like, we haven't seen Melodee Buzzard in a long time. And so they file a missing persons report, which is pathetic that it took the school to do it, okay? Anyway, thank God they did. The child is seen on camera sometime, I believe October 7th, this month, on camera. They believe that that is her on camera. And they're renting a car in Cali. And the mother, Ashley, is going to take Melodee, 9 years old, and we're going to learn that she goes on a 3-day trip to Nebraska, and then on the way home swings by Kansas and returns in that same rental car without this child. Well, we've all been asking, why is the mother not arrested? Because you guys are telling us, law enforcement is saying she isn't cooperating. Well, we got an update. We've got an update. Let's hear it.
And now suddenly there's breaking news in the case out of Lompoc, California. The FBI has just blocked off the home of Ashley and Melodee Buzzard. I'm recording this podcast the day before Halloween on October 30th, 2025. And FBI agents have been searching at that house for hours. And they brought a dog with them too, a canine, to help look for evidence. I can't tell you if it's a canine cadaver dog or if it's another kind of canine, because they do have specialties. But as it turns out, the house isn't the only place that agents are searching. 3 different searches are going on tonight. Law enforcement, they've been combing through a storage locker.
That's
And
scary.
they've also been searching the rental car that Melodee was
With
last
the dog.
seen in with her mother. God forbid
Amen.
that the rental agency didn't clean that car so well there's nothing left. Because you know that's what happens. You bring...
That is absolutely could be the reason why the mother rented a car. Because she knew the car would get detailed. But on the other hand, would they report it if they found a large amount of BLOOD or something? I don't know. I'm not sure on that.
your rental car back, you drive it into the long line, and they usually check you out right
Good
away.
question,
and try to
Allison.
Get it back, circulating pretty quickly. And we know that it took some time, right? We know it took time, like at least 4 days before school officials reported Melodee missing, and police went back 3 days and found the video at the car rental place where...
Now, we don't really know the last time. I still haven't had it confirmed the last time that this child was physically laid eyes on by somebody that knew her. That's horrific. Now, some of you are saying you don't know if that's actually Melodee in that picture. Well, we just got done listening to a case where the mother actually had ended the life of this child of hers, a little girl, and then used another child for Zoom meetings for CPS. And she got caught. They were like, that's not the kid. So, is it possible that that's just a different child completely? Could Melodee have went and changed that much in 2 years? Yeah, actually it could. Children can grow, a great deal in a very short amount of time. 7-year-old versus a 9-year-old, there could be a great deal of time passed. However, in my humble opinion, that looks like a young 12-year-old to me. Am I wrong? I want to know where she went in Nebraska and Kansas, right? Hey, Shona. All of the cases seem criminal to me. In each case, the parents' behavior is just off. I don't believe in any of these cases that children were taken by strangers. And I agree, a lot are missing. Yes, Jennyville. We'll have to cover that case another time. But the mother ended the life of her own daughter, and then CPS wanted to do a wellness check on Zoom, like put the kid on camera, and the mother used a different child and told CPS it was that child that was missing. Like I said, they got caught. okay, so you think it looks like a late teen. I think, 12 to 14, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Kids are hard to judge these days. You guys, there was a kid driving a vehicle that looked like he should be starting 3rd grade. So I don't know these days. Exactly, Liz. They should have a digital footprint solid from that rental place. I absolutely agree with that. Yes. It is effed up. It truly, truly, truly. You think that kid looks older too. I do too. I do too. Absolutely.
They took the car out with Melodee in it, but came back 3 days later and she wasn't there. I don't know if they're going to have a car that wasn't cleaned. I don't know if there's any forensics left in that rental car. But you know what? Stranger things have happened. I saw blue bubblegum bust something wide open in a rental car before.
But according to police, Melodee's mother, Ashley, has been, quote, escorted to an
Alternate location that would not interfere with their ability to conduct a thorough search. An
Something's
alternate
coming.
location. Wonder what that means.
Was it
An
August,
alternate location.
Allison?
Escorted.
I think you're right.
She was grabbed and taken because the video shows them showing up at her door today.
Tammy Cruz, good to see you. They showed up at her
And
door.
she's got a bag packed. And they take her. I'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Weirdly, the police are still calling this a missing persons investigation. Maybe that's a good thing, right? I didn't want to change this to a murder investigation. The FBI is on this and thick. Melodee's extended family is going to speak with me in just a moment.
Okay, let's go ahead and jump ahead to that. Let's see where we have it. Okay, let's look at this.
Police learned that Melodee and her mom set out that day, October 7th.
That
for
could
this
be a
Nebraska
9-year-old.
road trip.
This picture looks more
And they
like a
got there.
9-year-old.
And there was a report.
Let's go ahead and see where there was a second picture in the building, I thought. Yeah.
To wear wigs, and for some
This is
reason,
where it, okay, that looks like one person. This looks like the other person. Where is it? You know the two shots? This one. I don't know. It's hard to say. I have no idea, Crystal Rose. Why are so many parents unaliving their beautiful children? It is tragic. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. I don't know what to think about that. So who's she talking to? Right here. So this is her half sister, the little missing girl Melodee's half sister. Let's
information
listen.
that's happening, and this search is going on right now at Ashley Buzzard's house. There's a canine search at the house. They're searching a storage locker. They're also searching the rental car. Are police or authorities keeping you in the loop as to any of what's going on?
Not really. We spoke to the news girl that's been following it. She called and just let us know what was going on, and that Ashley was actually not arrested or detained. She was moved out of the home so they could search. But as far as detectives, we've called, left messages, and they haven't returned any calls. So we've been in the dark.
So what do you make of this imagery that we've got now? The FBI is there. We've seen plainclothes police officers showing up and taking her with a packed bag in a van. Do you have any idea what might be going on here?
No idea. I mean, they must have probable cause to, be searching, obviously.
FBI is there. We've seen
Probable cause to, be
Okay, how about if I unmute it? I saw Brian Candy like anyone else lost sound. What I said was, now we know that the police aren't messing around in the Melodee Buzzard case. Ashley is now, the mother, been removed from the home, right, and put in an undisclosed location. And they've got a search warrant not only for the house, the rental car as well, and that storage unit. That's interesting and kind of cringy, right? Kind of cringy. It makes me kind of go, ooh, when I hear storage building, and then I hear missing kid, I'm like, ooh. Thank you, Carla. Thank you, Liz. Thank you. All right, you guys. So that's what I have. And then don't forget, family update here. Here's some announcements. We have November 3rd coming up in 3 days. Jake Harrow will be sentenced. Will that be the moment that they find out what they've done with little baby Emmanuel? Because he ain't getting no special treatment this time. His sentencing could be maximum. Unless he wants to give up some information, right? Allison says, storage unit gives cold shivers. I agree. I don't like that. I don't like hearing about a storage unit and children at all. It's always creepy to me. Always. I want to thank you all for joining me. Make sure to check out my shop if you're looking for unique gifts, special items. Say a prayer for all these children, from Gus Lamont to Michael Vaughan to Lilly and Jack Sullivan to Melodee Buzzard and little Emmanuel Harrow. I love you guys to the moon and back. Thank you so incredibly much for tuning in, and stick around after the video so that you can hype it up. Great way to give back and support the channel. It's free and it matters. And hit like, right? Love you guys to the moon and back. Bye, lovelies. Thank you, my